Hey everybody, welcome back to Full Blast Garage. This is John Strong. I'd really appreciate it if all you just take a second to like and subscribe. The channel's growing. We're all super excited about it. And I wanted to bring you this little how-to video. If any of you guys are kind of in our situation where we're living off the road, need a little transportation around the ranch. You know, we've had this thing for a little while, but you know, lived through all winter with no windshield, no roof. So, hey, just kind of toughened us up. You know, that's what the parents always used to tell us. But, you know, spring has sprung here in Texas. And if any of you guys live here, you know that the bugs just fly up from the ground when you're riding anywhere. So instead of just flossing our teeth with them, going to want to put a windshield on. And then we're going to go ahead and do the roof install. It's just kind of loosely sitting there, but we'll go through the process of actually mounting that thing. But this is a 2024 Polaris Ranger Crew. And this is just the base model 1000. So this should apply to any of those Polaris Ranger Crews around this year model. So let's go ahead and look at some of the supplies we got for the roof. We'll start on that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and look at our parts pile here that came with the roof. The roof is actually a two-piece roof. And right down the middle here is a seam. And I don't know if it's just my dealer, but this is already put together. So you can see this thing held together with like, I don't know, 40 torque screws. So this way and on top, I believe. But this thing's already been zipped together and all the seals have been put on. And I kind of just loosely press this thing into place kind of where it goes. But looking at our parts here, so using deductive reasoning here, small 4 bolts, you're going to go in the back in those 4 holes. The small bolts use a larger torque socket, so I got a 3/8 drive for this. I believe this is a T30. So T40 for the small bolts. For the longer bolts that go up front, let me see. Is that a 7? Is it T7? So we got these guys. I'm going to go down from the top through the holes in the front. You got your bolt. That will slide through there. And we're going to have to place these little fasteners up here, you know, around where the hole is going to be. So let's go ahead and see if we can take a look at that. So we already have a hole here, right here on the roof. And you can see there's a hole here. So that's where we're going to go ahead, put our fastener clip, and that's going to grab our screw once we go up top. So we'll take care of this side. Oh man, I think I just lost something. Oh well, sure it ain't important. This side also, you want to go ahead, snap that in. We're ready to go. The back screws, I guess, are just kind of the self-tapper method. They'll tighten themselves up. Just burn it in there as hard as you can, as fast as you can. No, I'm kidding. Just kind of go slow and steady. You'll probably break these bolts. But I'm gonna move up top and get those front 2 started. All right, so on top, the Ranger, you're gonna want to head and look at through your holes here. Get this bolt started. Might need to line it up just a hair. But these guys should start by hand. If they're not, you might need to just work on lining it up a little bit better. Let's go ahead and do driver's side. So again, just line up your hole here. Get it started by hand. And we'll go ahead on and leave those loose. And then we'll get the back four started. All right, so now we got our shorter 4 screws. We're gonna go ahead and try and press this guy down if we can. Get it to snap in place, and we'll get our 4 screws started. And again, we left the front loose just so we got a little bit of wiggle room. You don't wanna, burn those in up front, and then you got kind of no slack at all to get these bolts started. So luckily, man, this thing just slammed right into place. Polaris did a pretty good job, I guess, with alignment on these. I remember back in the day, some of these you used to have to get the ratchet straps out, and it was a bear. You were fighting this thing. Let's go ahead, get our 3/8 drive on our driver here. Get our Torx bit. Again, this is the larger size back here. We'll go ahead and burn them in on these. Always like to work from the inside out. Just a habit. I don't know if it actually does anything on this, but if your plastic was gonna ripple or something, if you went this way, maybe going inside out, it would stop that. Let's go ahead and move up front, get those blasted on. Remember, again, gotta switch over to our 1/4" drive because the longer, bigger bolts take a smaller Torx. So we'll go ahead and switch that, get these tightened up. And again, you ain't gotta go crazy on these because that fastener that holds it on here is pretty thin. So just kind of snug it up. All right, so roof, check. Birds pooping all over the seat. X, not gonna happen anymore. Oh, it probably still will. They just fly in here and sit on the seat. But at least, we got some sunshade. So the first step I'm gonna take, starting to install the windshield on this Ranger, I'm gonna go ahead and go around all the surfaces, clean them up with some alcohol. And that's really, it looks like this stuff has quite a few little adhesive pads that are gonna go around the frame. And if the surface of that is dirty or got grime or anything on it, those things are never gonna stick. So alcohol is a good choice. You don't wanna go too aggressive where it eats the paint. Just regular old household isopropyl alcohol, and also don't go insane on your percentages, because they make a 99% one that probably would pull a little paint off this thing, but just regular old rubbing alcohol. I'll go ahead and take care of that. From the looks of the instructions of this thing, we'll probably be learning how to do this at the same time. This thing's got quite a few steps. While I'm reading those directions, we'll go ahead and just let this alcohol flash off. It'll evaporate pretty quick. All right, so let's let that flash. We'll take a look at what we got to do in the next steps. It looks like one of the first steps here is they give you this funky angled cut little adhesive here. And what you want to do is angle it up in the corner where you're bridging across this gap right here between the post and the windshield frame. And you want to run it up onto this flat space. It looks like just minimally, kind of like 1/4 inch. Line up this angle right here of the adhesive with the frame. We'll go ahead and peel that off, stick it down, do it on the other side also. Step 1. So our next step, we get these 2 little pieces of adhesive sealant. And these guys are gonna kind of go up in the corner here. So you're gonna press those in each side. And then I loosened up the roof a little because we're gonna have to get another long piece of sealant right here on the edge of the roof. So we'll go ahead and install that. install these short pieces in the corner on each side, and we're at least getting through these pieces of sealant. That should be all of it, all the sealant pieces that you got to stick on. The rest of it looks like foam pieces. So up here in the corner, we got our first piece of adhesive sealant, our second piece going across the corner here, and then we have our long piece that goes under the roof, and there'll be a little flap right here that stays on this side of the pipe. So they give you it cut on each corner, and that's for the front here to be able to kind of fold down and seal over, and for a little bit of it to still run down the pipe. But let's go ahead and go to our next step. So I just got the windshield just kind of loosely sitting here in place. The seal kit does come with these long seals and these kind of shorter, fatter seals. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the long ones. It's kind of looks like it's a preference. It says if one doesn't work, use the other one. So I'm going to go ahead, just kind of lean the windshield forward, get these guys pressed in the corners here, and that'll help with the seal. All right, once we're back in the Ranger, see, we have the windshield just kind of setting in the frame with all the window seals and foams in place. What you're going to want to do is on your latch here, there's 3 empty slots that have holes. You're going to want to go ahead and mark those, punch them, do something, because here in the next few steps, we're going to go ahead and take a 3/8 drill bit and drill holes in the cup holder plastic here. I'm just going to go ahead and use my trusty punch here. It'll mark everything pretty clearly. Let's go ahead. If you haven't ever used one of these guys, it's pretty simple. You're going to want to make sure you're flat where you need to go. Center your hole. And just press. And that's it. That's going to mark the location of where you need to drill each time you do it. And this one's kind of at a funky angle. Go ahead and get it back where it was lined up. We're just going to have to kind of stab this guy at an angle. There we go. All right. So this has 2 push pins on each side. The cup holder here, we're going to pull those. Cup holder slides back and comes out, so we can go ahead and drill those spots for it. So here on our cup holder, it's not super easy to see on camera, but I've got my 3 holes marked. I wanted to show you guys what I do. My drill bit here is I've taped it off kind of to give me a depth, so I don't go past the 3/8 on the step. So it's taped. We should be able, to kind of control it. It's plastic, it's not metal that we're going through. You just don't want to burn through this thing real fast and ruin what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these 3 holes. Then we'll show you how you got to bolt in the bracket that goes underneath this cup holder. This is what our cup holders will look like after you drill the 3/8 holes in it. So all right, let's move on. Next step, bolting in the chassis bracket. In this kit, you get this gold-plated looking bracket. And what it's going to do before you put your cup holders in, you're going to want to slide this guy in. And I promise you, there is a chassis plate back here that you can feel. And there's 2 holes that line up with the nuts here at the end. You're going to use two of the bolts from the kit here to go ahead and tighten that guy up. So it's going to sit under the cup holder bracket here. So I got this bracket here snugged up by hand, and what we're going to do is grab our 13mm open end box end wrench, get up in here, tighten these bolts down so this bracket is secure. But this is what it should look like once you have it installed. So I took a gander at the instructions, and for some reason Polaris wants you to jump from the cup holder to out here, put on these little plastic brackets that kind of, I guess, center up the windshield. I don't know. Maybe the guy was right in the direction, just got ADD or something, want to jump around, do something else. But I guess this will help kind of center the windshield. And it comes with carriage bolts. So you're going to carriage bolt, and it says just hand tighten the 13 mils on the other side right now. So these guys go up here, run through the front to the back. We'll get those installed, tightened up. Then we'll move on to the next step. For some reason, these bolts here in this bracket kind of giving me step 1 vibes. Like, why didn't we put this guy in to kind of help line everything up in the beginning? But hey, I'm just a mechanic. So this part here, just wanted to go ahead and show you guys. So there are 3 bolts that line up on that bracket that we have underneath. And in the instructions, it does say, hey, you might have to enlarge these. Well, I'm just going to tell you, unless you're the luckiest person on earth, you're probably going to go through and enlarge each of these. Ooh, windshield tilted back on me. But these 3 guys, I each had to enlarge them probably close to a 1/2 inch each to move them over to line it up. And that's after I had already kind of messed with the bracket underneath it, getting it to line up as close as possible. But let's go ahead, tighten these 3 down. We'll move on to the next step. So in this next step here, we got our 3 bolts tightened up. Let's just go ahead and put our push pin locks back in the slots here while we got this open. These do have a specific way you got to kind of line them up before you push these guys in, just like that. And that'll get them in for you. And then it says we've got 2 screws to put in the top of this handle, and then we should be done. So let's grab those out, put them on. We got these 2 screws started here on the handle. Let's go ahead and tighten these guys home with the Torx. Don't go crazy. Remember, this stuff's all plastic, so just easy. Turn your gun down if you're using one. And then we're going to go up here where our carriage bolts are on each side. Go ahead and snug those up, and you are done. You have installed a roof and windshield on your Polaris Ranger. Let's go ahead and get that snugged on down and then take it on a ride. Well, we made it through this video. Gives you a how-to put your roof and your windshield on your Polaris Ranger, and it'll probably work for other Polaris models also. I'm sure their windshield probably go on just about the same on all of them. You know, this is kind of just our ranch workhorse. You know, we cruise this thing around on these dirt roads. We don't go wheeling or anything. This is probably all the accessories this thing will ever need and get. Because these things are pricey. It's about $1,500 worth of parts just putting it on, and that ain't including how much you got to pay to buy one of these things now. Whew, don't get me started. But you know, this is a fun little how-to. Hope you guys learned something, or if it helps you with your project, that's great. And I'm John Strong, Full Blast Garage, and I'd really appreciate it if you like, subscribe to the channel. You know, we got more content coming. And again, till you see me on my next video, just go out and do something that makes you happy.